here today to do Tower of God, chapter 42 to 51. I will quickly go through the chapters because I keep telling you guys that I will get up to date with the book, but I've been very busy this week. You know, work, we have to work, and I don't want to do 40-minute review, even if there are 9 chapters. I don't want to be like to do a 40-minute video. So I structured the chapters on a list, and I will go through the key points of the chapters and describing the story and the abilities and what I think about the chapter. So in the last chapter we know that Hoon's team would have actually won, but Hoon helped Quant to get the top, and so they lost. Now Leroro, being a light bearer, he saw this. He had his lights over the whole Colosseum, not Colosseum but Labyrinth. He had his light, so he saw Kun when he helped Quant, but he didn't understand why. And the director tries to explain to Leo what Kun's thinking was, and this is where the list of friends that they had to make intervene, because the director is a pretty devious person, and we saw it time and time again when he designs this test to put the regulars in a very hard position where they have to choose between their actual friends and the team winning. And this is the thing. According to the list of friends, she saw what each individual, what friends they had, the 10 friends that they had to get signatures from, and she put them in different teams. And that's why she put Bam and Kun in different teams, because they were the first one to sign. Bam was the first one on Kun's list, and Kun was the first one on Bam's list. So best friends, and she put them in different teams. And she explains that when climbing a mountain, you have a big backpack at the beginning, but when you consume some of your resources, you throw away what you no longer need, because that is just dead weight, and it will not help you climb the mountain. It is the same thing with getting to the top of the tower. If one of your friends or allies, it's useful, but when you get to an upper level, it starts being a nuisance. You simply discard that friend or that ally, and you get a new one that can help you climb the tower even further. And Kun knows, being from a top family, he knows this very well. But and Kun knew that this test was designed to do that exact thing, for them to discard what they don't need. But at least he would have a choice. He wanted to have a choice, and then he discarded his team in favor of his friends, and that was his thinking. So Kun, a very smart kid. And then we go into the instructors. The jury made out of the teachers is they are all thinking that this is going to be a boring test, a boring second half of the test, because the teams were unbalanced. The second team, Bam's team, would lose, no doubt about it, because they don't have the ability to stop one. And the only one that is betting on the second team, and he says that to me it seems that both of the teams are equally matched, is actually the wave controller teacher, the one with the sheep costume, and he's actually betting on Bam to be the trump card in this situation. And so the test begins, and they all go according to Andosi's plan. and Dosey's plan is to separate all the fishermen from the rest of the team, and she is the it, and she's trying to climb the tower, not climb the tower, to go to the exit, while the other fishermen and wave controllers and so on try to delay Quant. Now, first thing we see Hatsu, and he's with two spear bearers, and he has a plan to delay Quant. And the thing is that he actually says that I will try to stop him, and when I immobilize him, you guys shoot from a distance and we will finish him up. And the irony of this is that the plan would have actually worked if those two spear bearers actually trusted Hatsu and they weren't scared and ran away. Because Hatsu, being a swordman, has a very strong grip on his sword, and he actually manages to catch Quant by the arm, and then he doesn't let go of Quant because he has such a strong grip. And if the spear bearers if the spear bearers didn't actually get scared and run away, they would have taken Quant down, but that was not the case. They ran away, and of course Hatsu gets beat up, and his plan failed. Then we see a little side story about the girl named Winan, and this is very interesting and puzzling at the same time, because she says when she was young, she was part of a group of thieves. They didn't have what to eat, so they resorted to stealing. They live off of what they stole, and one day they tried to steal from a ranker. Of course, they didn't know that he was a ranker, but that's just bad luck for them. And this guy actually killed all of her friends. It didn't matter that they were kids or anything. He killed every last one of them, and he, the ranker, would have killed her too, but suddenly Hedon appeared, and she decided that she would be a good candidate for climbing the tower. And that's very puzzling, because Hedon usually chooses from the regulars to climb the tower, but what did he see in her? Because she was a thief, she had no dignity, she was a kid at the time, and she had no special ability. So how does Hedon operate? I would like to get more information on that, but until now we don't know anything about Hedon and how he operates, how he chooses the regulars of the tower, because this is very puzzling. Now, after this we go to Wandosi and Bam and the other fishermen, and Androsi doesn't want to. She made up this plan to separate the fishermen from the other groups, not in order to catch Quant or to evade Quant, but she wanted to kill all the fishermen, because that's just the way she is. She wanted to eliminate the competition. If she was the last fisherman standing, then she would win by default, and she didn't actually have to fight Quant. Of course, Bam doesn't understand, and he's doubting his ability. He's doubting that he can help the team. Bam actually feels like a nuisance to the team. He brings nothing there. And of course, Androsi tells Bam a story about when she was little, and she was in this training house where the ones that were training would get food according to their performance. So she was the last one, and all she got was bread. For months, she had to eat only bread because she was the last one. She had the lowest performance, and she couldn't get any other food. So she didn't know the taste of the other food. But then, 1 month, when she defeated the one that was above her, she was seated at a table and she got another type of food, and for her it was like a whole new world opened up. She stepped into a whole new world because she ate something that she didn't eat before. It was another taste, it was another smell, and from that point on she became curious about all the other foods at the table, and she wanted to taste them all. So the only way she could do that is by stepping on all the other trainees there, the ones who were training, and she did. She defeated every one of them and she tried all the types of food. And that's her mentality. In order to climb the tower, she has to step on everyone else and get to the top, try everything. Of course, this goes in direct contradiction with Bam, because Bam doesn't care about climbing the tower, he cares about making friends. And he actually says, if I climb the tower stepping on what's precious to me, my friends, what would be revealed to me at the top? So he fears that if he steps on his friends, if he steps on his allies, when he reaches the top, he will no longer be the same person, and he doesn't want that. Of course, Adosi thinks that he's just spoiled and so he doesn't understand how the tower works. But of course, keep in mind that no one knows that Bam is an irregular, and they all think, all of his teammates think in one motion, in one way, the way of the tower. But Bam being an irregular, you can see he has a totally different mindset. And she tries, and Rosie actually tries to push Bam over the limits to hurt the other people, and of course he lives. He actually protects Rosie when one of the fishermen tries to attack her, and he has absolutely nothing. And that guy actually said, taking a hit from my sword head on and not even having a scratch, that's impressive. But he lives after that, and we jump to another part of to another scene where the horned girl, Po, if you remember a few chapters ago, she actually got a note that if she wants to take Bam out of the competition, she is supposed to take out Rachel, or Michelle Light as she goes. And of course that's true, because if she kills Rachel, then Bam would not be motivated to climb the tower anymore. So he will step out of the competition. And he actually traps Rachel, traps Rachel, and she has a knife against Rachel's throat. And while they are speaking, you can see that Rachel is scared, but she's not very scared about this situation. But when Paul begins to speak about God's blessing, the notion of God's blessing, which is very interesting, and I want to get a little bit into this, because Paul says that God has blessed Bam with this incredible power, incredible talent, but God has not blessed me with anything. The powers I have are minuscule at best, and I lost my family, I lost my friends, I lost my entire town. So I suffered very much in the past, and now I want to climb the tower, yet God hasn't given any blessing to me. But God has blessed Bam, so what has he lost? Which is a very interesting question, because we know nothing about Bam's past. We know that he was living alone in a cave, but nothing above that. So if you only get a little bit of power after losing your friends, losing your village, losing your family, what has he lost? And we actually see that Rachel has a more frightened face after this discussion than before. So she's afraid that someone will dig into Bam's past and they will find out about Bam. and of course she's afraid that once they find out about Bam, they will try to take him out, and she won't be able to reach the top because she needs Bam to reach the top. So to help her reach the top. So that's very interesting, and the whole notion of God's blessing. But right when Ho was prepared to kill Rachel, Quant walks in the arena, and Quant cannot attack them because they are in the safety zone. But he says that if she kills Rachel, then he will stop the test and he will kill her. So now they are in a little bit of stalemate. The fishermen that ran away previously come and try to attack Quant. So now he doesn't know what to do, because if he moves, then Rachel dies. But if he doesn't move, the fishermen will attack him, and he doesn't know how to react. And that's when Bam steps in. Of course, Bam is mad when he sees the situation, when he sees Rachel being in danger. But Ho actually tells Bam if he wants Rachel to leave, he has to fight Quant. And Bam is prepared to actually fight Quant. And I gotta hand it out to Quant because he is very quick on his feet and he thinks very fast. He goes on the offensive, he attacks Bam, but he doesn't hurt him. He just uses a paralyzing technique on Bam. And he tells him in a quick second, this is a paralyzing technique. Follow the flow of Shinsho and use the same technique on Ho. And at the same time, I will attack the fisherman. And that's what they do. But we see Quant's inner thinking, because he thinks it took me decades of Shinsho manipulation training to actually come up with this technique. There's no way that Bam can actually copy this technique after seeing it just once and with not even probably 5% of the training that he had as a ranker. And just when he was thinking this, Bam actually uses the technique. And of course he's shocked. He's very shocked that someone could do this technique from the first go. And of course Bam saves Rachel. Quant defeats the fisherman, and then we see Ho taking her own life. She kills herself, she stabs herself in the chest. Of course she doesn't want to have anything else to do with the tower. She doesn't want to be part of the tower anymore. So that's sad in a way. And then Mandosi Zahar enters the middle area of the labyrinth, and she has the other fisherman's sword, and she starts fighting Quant because she's the it and he's the it, and they fight each other. And what happens is that Bam actually chooses to fight against, to ally himself with Andosi and fight against Quant, because he doesn't want to climb the tower, so he could stand by and watch them fight. He could stand by and not get involved, but then he thinks, well, Rachel wants to climb the tower, and if I take that opportunity from her, it's the same as killing her. So I will do this for Rachel. And he starts using attacks to paralyze Quant. And the thing is that he uses the paralyzing attacks from a distance. He merges them with wave controlling. And I think this is something that not even Quant was able to do. And Quant is thinking like, who is the real master in this arena? Because Bam is proving that his Shinsho manipulation and his easiness, let's call it easiness in learning techniques, is above anything that he has ever seen. And of course, Bam with Andosi coupled up, paralyzing Quant, and they end up winning the match. And thus, Bam's team actually wins the second part of the hide and seek test. And we can see Kun being happy that Bam won, but being sad at the same time because he doesn't know how to pass to the next floor and stay beside Bam and the Giger, because now Kun hasn't passed this. So very interesting part about Head-On and how he chooses the candidates in that little side story from Linen. Very interesting in how Bam is using his abilities and learning. A very interesting thing about the director and how he directs the tests. And what else? No, I think those are the main facts of the chapters. Then at the end of chapter 51, we actually see Yuri Zahad coming to everyone's health floor to get a black march, and she has her own team. I think there are 4 guys, including Evan, and 3 or 4 guys, I don't remember exactly, and a little girl, but they all look powerful, very powerful. And yeah, they are coming to Evan's here to take the Black March. But you have to wonder, how powerful is Evan here if Yuri Zahad needs a whole team to come to this floor? So we haven't seen this guy as of yet, because he's on vacation right now, according to the book. But you have to see how powerful is he if they need a whole team to come to his floor. They don't plan on attacking him or anything, but if he attacks them, then they will need a whole team to defend themselves. So yeah, that's very interesting, and we will see where that heads on. But basically those are the chapters. I don't think I've forgotten anything, and I'll see you guys next time with chapters. I think I'll do 51 to 60. So rate, comment, subscribe, and
any rational society would either kill me or put me to some use.